What's up, friends? Today we're jumping into the future. We're taking a look at the new Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. Now, I've never really covered wearable tech on this channel because I feel like it's kind of a big departure from what I typically cover, but I'm interested in these because I already wear Ray-Bans and I love cameras, and these two things come together to make an awesome product, and I feel like it's worth sharing my experience using these for the last 2 months. Now, this is not a new concept. Ray-Ban actually did come out with a version a couple years ago called the Ray-Ban Stories. They were made in partnership with Facebook, but the camera quality really wasn't that good and they kind of sucked, so they didn't really do that well. But they've kind of redeemed themselves with these glasses because these new Ray-Ban Meta Smart glasses are awesome. And let's take a look at the design. These look pretty much exactly the same as your typical pair of Wayfarers. At first glance, you can't really tell the difference, but if you look at them close, well then there's gonna be a few giveaways because these aren't your typical Wayfarers. They're slightly thicker because they obviously need to house the sensors, the camera, the speaker, the microphones, the processor, and the batteries. But I'll get to that later because I'm sure most of you guys are here just to see what the camera quality looks like. And you do see little circles on each side of the frames, which is basically the sensor and the camera. But outside of that, they look pretty inconspicuous. They've got that timeless Wayfarer design. They come in a few different colorways. There's different lens options as well as transitions for people that want to wear them indoors and outdoors without any tint on them. I got the standard glossy black Wayfarer in the XXL. They also have different styles called like headliner, and they also come in different colors. They have a more circular look to them. Now, as I said, you're probably here to see the camera quality because I assume that's the main reason you even want to buy these in the first place outside of getting regular Wayfarers. But the point of these glasses is to capture, you know, those spontaneous moments when you need to document your life, or you don't want to whip out your camera and look like a tourist when you're trying to film something. And this is especially awesome if you need to have hands free and you need to do stuff while you're trying to film. So something like me, when I'm doing photography and I want to make POV style behind the scenes content, this is amazing because I can just put them on and record exactly what's in front of me. They're also going to be awesome for sports or driving content, or even like doing trades. Like I used them when I was building a shelf, which is pretty cool, so you can see how that works because everything you're looking at is what's being filmed. So the camera's placed on the right side, so your left when you're wearing them. It's a 12 megapixel camera, which honestly looks as good as like an iPhone 11 or an iPhone 12. It only shoots 1080p, 30 frames per second vertical video though, and it's 100% designed to live on social media, so Instagram, X, Facebook. So you can't really film horizontal unless you take the glasses off and you put them like this, and you're probably not going to do that. So because they are made with Meta, they're obviously designed to work with Instagram and Facebook, and they are linked to your account, which might turn people off. But it is kind of cool to be able to just shoot an Instagram story right from the glasses and it's good to go. But I do prefer to just record my video clips and upload them later because then I can choose exactly the moments I want to post. Now, these glasses do have pretty good video stabilization, but I feel like a lot of it's mostly just because your head is basically a gimbal and you're wearing them on your face. But I was pretty impressed with how it looked. I'm also impressed with the mic quality when you're recording videos. It sounds really, really good. It's in stereo. It has a really nice clean sound. I'm coming at you live from my sunglasses. These are the new Ray-Ban Meta collab Wayfarers. I already wear these sunglasses, so I might as well have a camera in them. And they're pretty dope. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna give you some POV style behind the scenes action with them, so we'll see how that looks. And you can also take photos with them as well, and I've taken a bunch of photos. They look pretty good, but you have zero control over the image quality, so it's pretty heavy HDR, and from what I can tell, it's something like a 13mm lens. It's like an ultra wide lens. Also, if your head isn't completely perfectly level, the images are always gonna be kind of skewed a bit because, you know, not all of us have internal levels built into our head. But it's not really the glasses' fault, it's obviously your fault. In terms of functionality, these bad boys will sync seamlessly with your smartphone via Bluetooth, allowing you to stay connected without constantly reaching for your pocket. You can actually take calls, you can receive notifications, and even listen to music, which is pretty cool. There's actually only one button, and it's on the right side, so your left, my right, and you do one tap, and it'll take a photo. And if you long press, it'll actually trigger a video recording. Now, as you can see, there's a little white LED in the top corner here, and that's to let people know that you're recording. So, you know, there's gonna be some issues with privacy and consent and stuff, but at least this kind of tells the person that you're actually filming. You also see a little LED on the inside of the glasses to show you that you're recording as well. And the Meta app actually allows you to control the intensity of this LED, and I have it set to the lowest setting, so it's not super obvious and distracting. So jumping into the glasses and privacy settings, I'll show you where you can adjust the notification LED, and you have the options of high, medium, and low, or auto. You can also customize what the touchpad does and your gestures. So Spotify can be linked and controlled via the glasses, which is really cool. And you can also set up hands-free voice controls as well. Choosing camera, you can change what the button does when it comes to capture. So right now I have it set to the default, which is a one press to take a photo and a long press to start a video recording. And you can also choose the video recording length. I just leave it at 1 minute because I feel like that's what I want to just roll that whole time. And I don't know why anyone would choose something like 15 seconds unless you really specifically knew what you were going to record. The glasses seem to have enough storage to keep tons of clips and photos on board. The specs say 32 gigs. When you have new clips and photos that you've shot that aren't imported, you'll get a notification on your phone saying that new media is found. You select that and then you choose import, and it'll ask you to connect to its Wi-Fi hotspot because it's going to have more bandwidth versus Bluetooth to transfer those files. As the clips are coming in, you're going to see their download progress as they're added to the Meta gallery. And from here, if you don't have it set up to auto save to your phone, you can manually save these clips or photos, or you can go direct right to Instagram or Facebook right from the Meta app. Now when it comes to sound, the built-in speakers are actually pretty good. They're up here near your ears. They kind of use like bone conducting technology. Now don't expect tons of bass, but they are pretty cool, and you are able to listen to music right off these glasses and they sound pretty good. But if you crank the volume up, there's gonna be a lot of sound bleed and pretty much everyone around you is gonna be able to hear what you're listening to. The mic is right here, and these are at max volume so you can hear how much noise bleed there is. Now I can turn it down to a comfortable level. That's a comfortable level right there, and you probably can't hear it as much. Most people around you wouldn't hear that. There is a little touchpad on the same side as the button, so this allows you to swipe up and swipe down to control the volume, as well as tap to start and stop music. And as I mentioned, they do work like Bluetooth headphones, so you can also answer phone calls with them because they have built-in mics. All right, so let's talk about the battery life, because somehow they've managed to stuff batteries into the arms. And as you can assume, the batteries aren't gonna be that big, but I was able to walk around New York shooting photos and video for probably around 3 to 4 hours before I got a battery warning. And once the battery does get low, some of the functionality is disabled, but you can just drop it into the charge case and they'll charge it up in like 30 minutes. So it's not really that big of a deal. And the case actually holds like 30 hours of charging for these glasses. And I think I went for like a whole month without even needing to charge the case. Now your mileage will vary depending on how much you're using these. There is a switch on the inside of these glasses where you can turn them on and off if you only wanted to use them as regular sunglasses. That way you could save the battery for a time you think you would need them. But in most cases, I just leave it on. Now the case is really nice. I actually feel like it kind of mimics Ray-Ban's typical case they'd give you for these glasses, except this is actually more firm, it's more stiff, it actually feels better built, honestly. This would be awesome if they could make this for the regular glasses. Obviously we don't need the LED. The LED indicates the battery charge as well as the battery charge of the case itself. So when it's orange, it means it's low or it's charging the glasses. And when it's green, it means everything's good to go and charged. And when it's blue and flashing, that means you're in Bluetooth pairing mode. Now, one thing I recommend is when you're transferring photos and videos off the glasses, you use this case because it will keep the glasses charged, but it will also allow you to stay connected to your phone. And then that way you're not really draining the glasses when you're transferring files, because that does take a little bit more battery life. Now I briefly want to touch on Meta AI, which is built into these glasses. And you can obviously ask it to take a photo, start a video, but they recently added an AI virtual assistant, which is kind of like Siri. You can ask it questions, you can ask it to make a phone call. But there is some beta stuff coming that I've been seeing online that looks really cool, where you can literally hold something up and ask it what you're looking at, and it'll describe it. You could ask it where to buy it, things like that. They haven't added that to the current firmware, but I know that Meta said there's a lot of cool things coming. There's gonna be a lot of AI features coming soon, so maybe we'll have to come back to these at a later time. So let's wrap up this review with some final thoughts. The first is that the camera is on your left eye, so everything that you film won't be perfectly centered unless you kind of remember that and hold it sort of off to the left. So if I was holding a camera like I typically would about here, everything in the frame is going to be kind of off to the right. So you got to keep that in mind, that you got to sort of hold things here if you want to be perfectly centered. The second thing to keep in mind is that you're probably always being tracked by Meta. With these things turned on, it's kind of creepy. You can physically switch them off if you want, but the reality is you're probably watching this on your phone anyway, and it's already tracking everything you do. But it's something to keep in mind if you're worried about privacy. And the third thing is they do kind of feel a little bit cheaper than your typical Wayfarers. Now, I know from the time I picked these up, they felt kind of weird. They didn't feel as premium as my typical glasses. Now that could just be me and it's all in my head, but obviously they have to be hollow for all the tech that's inside them, and they're slightly thicker. And you can kind of tell they're not made in Italy like your typical pair of Ray-Bans. But in terms of durability, I've only had them for 2 months and they seem fine. The arms are all scuffed up near my ears and there's a bunch of micro scratches all over them. The lenses seem fine. Now these bad boys are not cheap and they range in price depending on if you get the clear transitions or the polarized lenses, but the base glossy black like I got, they are $369 USD. Now, for me, it's kind of a no-brainer because I already wear this style of sunglasses anyway, and it's awesome that now I can have a camera for POV videos and behind-the-scenes content for social media. So I kind of look at it as a useful tool that serves a bunch of different purposes. So it's fashion, they're sunglasses, but they're also a POV camera for social media. And I think it's worth the price, but that's all up to you if you think you would actually use these more than your actual phone to take photos and video. Anyway, I hope you like this video. I know I'm starting a new year off with a really weird review, but I wanted to talk about these because I think they're really cool, and a lot of you guys have asked me on Instagram when I've posted things with these glasses. I have links in the description where to get them. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give it a thumbs down twice. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.